Today's lesson, we're going to solve absolute value equations. We'll also be able to identify when there is an extraneous solution. So absolute value, that's going to be the distance from 0. Now, when we do that, remember, distance can't be negative. So for instance, if I have absolute value of 3, that's going to equal 3 spaces from 0. If I have the absolute value of, let's say, -5, that's going to be 5 spaces from 0. And when you, again, right, like you can't have a negative number of spaces, so your answer will always be positive. The thing is that if for some reason we do have something that looks like absolute value of x equals -5, that's going to be an answer of no solution. So let's look at how we solve these. The very first step we're going to do is we're going to isolate the absolute value symbol. After that, we're going to create an equation by setting the absolute value equal to the positive number. Then we're going to create a second equation by setting your absolute value equal to the negative number. Once we've done that, you are now going to have 2 equations, and we're going to solve both of them. And just as a reminder, because we have 2 equations, you will have 2 answers. Let's take a look at this example. So what I like to do is I like to box my absolute value. So I box it, and I say, is the box the only thing on the left-hand side? I would say yes, and because of that, that means I have done step 1. Step 2 is to split it up into 2 separate equations. So equation number 1 is 3x plus 2 equals a positive 4. Equation number 2 would be 3x plus 2 equals a negative 4. Right? So the right-hand side is our positive 4, the left-hand side is the negative 4. And now we solve these separately. I'm going to start by subtracting 2 on both sides. I get 3x equals 2. Then I'm going to divide by 3, and I get x equals 2/3. It is decimal. X is just 0.66 repeating. So I would take either one. I mean, I tend to just leave it as a fraction, but if you want to say 0.66, that's fine. Second one, I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides. For this one, I would get 3x equals -6. Then I'm going to divide by 3, and I get x equals -2. Second example. I'm going to box it. Is the box the only thing on the left-hand side? Yes. However, look at it equals a negative. We can't have that. This is going to be no solution. So we're not even going to split it up. And let's make a note as to why we said no solution. So I wrote down that it can't equal a negative. If that's the case, again, no solution. Third problem. So I'm going to box the absolute value and say, is the box the only thing on the left-hand side? This time the answer is no. That means I have to get the box alone. So I'm going to start by adding 1, and that's going to give me 3 absolute value x plus 2 absolute value equals 9. I'm going to box again and say, is the box the only thing on the left-hand side? My answer is no. So I need to divide by 3. Cancels out. I have absolute value x plus 2, absolute value equals 3. I'm going to box again and ask, is the box the only thing on the left-hand side? Finally, I say yes, which means I've completed step 1. Step 2 is to create the 2 equations. So x plus 2 equals +3. Second equation, x plus 2 equals -3. I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides. I get x equals 1. I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides for the second equation, and I get x equals -5. Okay, the last part of this lesson is about extraneous solutions. So an extraneous solution would be one that doesn't work. So let's look at the steps we're solving. So the first thing is we're going to solve the absolute value equation, and just a reminder, you get 2 answers. Then we're going to plug both answers into the right-hand side and see what happens. So if the answer is negative, then it will be extraneous, and you will cross it out. If the answer ends up being positive, then that value is an answer. Let's take a look at an example. So extraneous ones will always have an x on both sides. So equation number 1, we're going to have 3x plus 2 equals 4x plus 5. Equation number 2, we're going to have 3x plus 2 equals negative 1 parentheses 4x plus 5. So for the second equation, you're going to put this negative 1 in front of the right-hand side. So let's solve the first one. We're going to subtract 3x on both sides to get 2 equals 1x plus 5. We'll then subtract 5, and I get negative 3 equals x. The second one, I have to start by distributing the negative 1. So I'll get 3x plus 2 equals negative 4x and then negative 5. In this equation, I'm actually going to move the 4x over. I'm going to add 4x to the 3x. I get 7x plus 2 equals negative 5. We subtract 2 on both sides. I get 7x equals negative 7. We divide by 7, and I get x equals negative 1. Now I haven't boxed anything yet because I have to check. I'm going to check with my calculator, but I'm going to show how I check below. So the checking piece is that we look at the right-hand side only. So the right-hand side is 4x plus 5. So I have 4x plus 5, but I'm going to take my answer and plug it in. So 4 times negative 3 plus 5 winds up being negative 7. So this is a negative number. For this one over here, I'm going to check. We have 4x plus 5. I'm going to do 4 times negative 1 plus 5, which is 1. So this is positive. If you get a negative, that means it's extraneous. And so when it's extraneous, we cross out our answer. We don't include it. If it's positive, like the one on the right is, we circle it. So for this problem, our answer is x equals negative 1.